One area of small business strategy that's totally changed is how we look at and manage our phone service. Now, if you've got a small business, you probably have some sort of mixed phone service. You got a little landline happening here and a little fax there and a little mobile phone action over here. You probably have several accounts with different providers, and one thing you definitely don't have is total control over any aspect of your service. Well, let me show you how you can improve a significant part of your service, and it all comes down to control as far as I'm concerned, although you might like the price advantage as well. Vonage is a large VoIP provider. VoIP stands for Voice over IP, using our internet connection for phone service. And there's a lot of reasons you should consider VoIP for both home and business phone service. For the small business person, however, in my opinion, it's control that wins the day. So let me take you into the Vonage site. If you go and visit it, we can take a look to start at the different call plans that are available to give you an idea of the range of services they offer. And the services come down to residential and small business services. The residential service has two tiers at $20 and $40 a month, and the business services for small businesses start at $56 a month. And one of the key things to understand about Vonage is this is the price you're going to pay. You don't pay extra for any extra features like call forwarding or caller ID or voicemail. That's all built in. So the price that you see here is the price you pay each month. Now, you really will end up saving a lot of money if you do a lot of long distance, because the Entrepreneur Unlimited plan at $70 a month includes a dedicated fax line, and it includes unlimited long distance for all of Canada, Puerto Rico, United States, and 5 European countries. So if you do a lot of long distance, there's big savings to be had there, and also total control over your cost, because you know you're only going to be paying $70 a month. Let's talk a little bit now about the physical setup, how you actually set up VoIP. And it comes down to this. This is the adapter that we use from Vonage, and this basically is an analog to digital converter. So what happens is this actually takes the digital world of the internet and converts it for our analog phone. If you take a look at the back, you see all of our different connection points. The blue one is where internet comes in from our existing internet service. The yellow is internet out, say going to our wireless router. And then these two green ones here are for our analog phone to plug in to the device itself. So what happens is the device converts the analog world of our normal phone and converts all of our voice activity through into digital, which it then sends over the internet. Now, the good news is you can maintain your existing business phone number. You can migrate it over to the digital service. So all of your existing marketing materials and all your business cards, you can keep the same phone number and just move it over to your voice over IP service. Now, I talked about control. Control over your cost is one thing, but control over the rest of the services is the real magic of Vonage as far as I'm concerned. So I've already logged here into my account on the web. And the big difference between using it on the web and the old-fashioned world of analog phones is when we want to do things like configure our call forwarding, we don't have to hit a key combination on our phone to be able to dial out and to be able to set up call forwarding. Instead, we do it in a web-based interface because we are now in a digital world. This gives us a lot of control over all of our different activities. So here in the dashboard, I can do all of my billing information. I can look at the activity on any of my phone numbers. Now, I've got several different Vonage accounts or several different phone numbers. So if I want to go in and view the phone activity on one of my accounts and see all the calls that I've had in the last 7 days, it brings up a summary of every call, how long it was, and who it was to, and what happened, if it was call forwarded, if it went to voicemail, that sort of stuff. Now, think about this from a small business owner's perspective. If you've got a salesperson that's doing outbound calls, they're phoning all day long and making phone calls, you can go in, have a look at how many calls they made in a day, the duration of each call, and you can start to coach your employees to be better and more efficient employees. You can say, I noticed that you're spending about 1 minute per call, which is great, but you had a whole series of calls that were 18 and 20 minutes. What happened in those calls? Is there something that we're seeing consistently with our customers that's taking a long time to resolve? And so you can work back and forth with your employee with the information of how long they're spending on different tasks. That's very valuable information. Even more valuable than that is when we go into the features area. This is what gives us total control over all aspects of our phone service. If we look here, we can see call forwarding, voicemail settings, call hunting. We have all of this set up here. So if we want to go in and we want to say configure call forwarding for any of our numbers, we can just select that number and configure how it's going to call forward. And here's one thing that I love about the call forwarding built in here. That's the ability to do something called simulring, because here's a typical example of something that drives me crazy. I've got my office line call forwarded to my cell phone, so I get all my calls. This is standard procedure. But now I'm in the office for only 15 minutes. I'm just doing a few things, and so I don't disable call forwarding because I don't want to have to go through that whole combination of numbers to recall forward afterwards. So I haven't turned off call forwarding. Now a phone call comes in while I'm there, and instead of being able to deal with it on the landline, which costs me less money and is probably better quality than my mobile phone, it automatically call forwards through, so I have to take the call on my mobile phone. They have something here called SimulRing, which is a great option. I can have it ring on multiple devices at the same time. So if I'm in the office, my cell phone rings at the same time as the landline rings on the same call. I just pick up whichever phone is most appropriate or convenient. That is a great service. The other thing that I really like is how we handle voicemail. If I go down into my voicemail settings, I can set up something called voicemail email notification. I really like this service. It means that every single voicemail that's sent into this account will get encapsulated into an email. They'll take the audio file from that voicemail and they will email it to me regardless of where I am. Now, if I don't want it in my email, I can also choose to have it text message to me. If we look here in the bottom, send it as a text message telling me that I have voicemail waiting for me. But I like this ability to be able to receive an email as an audio wave file. And you can set it to be sent to multiple addresses at the same time. So you can always make sure that your customers are well serviced because your staff has the information they need. Actually, if we think about it, the Vonage voice over IP service goes well beyond the things that we've looked at right now because we have marketing opportunities as well. For example, we have something called virtual phone numbers, which means that we can add local area codes to our business. So if we live in Vancouver but do a lot of business in Toronto, we can set up a 905 or a 416 number that rings locally for the people in the Toronto market but rings straight through as a local call to you in Vancouver. So that kind of control over our marketing activities is another big benefit as well. Voice over IP is an entirely new way to do old things. Landline phones still have a big place in business, so bringing your landline into the digital age, that is a great thing to do. Gaining a measure of control over any area of your business is smart, but when you can gain control over a service at the same time gain control over the costs, well, that's more than smart. Some might call it brilliant.